Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to tell the truth, shame the devil. I'm going to give you the definitive analysis as it relates to Joe Rogan. I want to give a shout out to Max World TV because he said a few things on his channel today that was on point, that I'm going to reference some of what he said, but I'm going to give you the analysis. I am about to show you other clips and videos and sound bites that go beyond just the things that Joe Rogan has said recently. We're going to get at it right now. You're listening to the Information Man Show.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Cause some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call. Realize the movie that I was watching, it's the end of the world. Illuminati is coming. Gather the boys and girls and watches it all in furls. They clutching at all their pearls and no one asking for guidance. Stimulus check, won't you catch that? I got niggas and they said that respect they black. Politicians and they said don't know how to act. That's why we sitting on the wrong track. Back to
Tell the truth.
And it's okay to be rich. My mama always told me I was destined for greatness. But my mama also, she told me take care of the kids and everybody around the world that can't fight for it. So it's a Kuna Matata, beast on the water, pray to provider, please don't divide us. Keep that and try to face your intruder to be someone brighter.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, all the mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Cause some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
Tell the truth.
It's the Information Man Show. We got one man band in the house. It's all hot air. Just being Jazzy's in the house. Information Man Show. Yeah. That's right.
Some of y'all don't listen at all. Same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals.
The Information Man Show.
Listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody? Peace, everybody. Peace. Welcome to the Information Man Show. Everybody, thank you out there that are listening live right now. Let me do the kudos. Let me give the respect to everybody out there that's listening in different parts of this thing we call streaming, live streaming, what have you, YouTubing, whatever you want to call it. Let me say peace to everybody out there who may be watching me on Roku TV. Let me say peace to brother Ben of the SP3 network. And let me put them up here real quick, everybody. And there it is, the BS3 network, sports network, but also the brother has other types of content like myself on this particular network. If you're looking for me on Roku TV, look at BS3 TV live on Roku, and you'll find me live right now, as well as you will find all my shows on demand on Roku TV as well, if you decide to look at my program on those particular platforms. Also, let me shout out everybody out there listening by way of Facebook, Twitter, what have you, and Facebook groups. Let me also shout out everybody out there who may be listening by way of Twitch. And we're going to get into this today. I'm putting this back up here. We're going to get into this today. I'm going to take that off the screen. I don't need that on the screen there. I'm just said to hell with it. I'm not waiting for the full countdown to complete itself. We're just going to get it started right now as soon as we possibly can. So let me just let everybody know that I'm going to take this step at a time. I want everybody in the chat room, all of you in that great chat room listening, and those that are listening that are not on the chat, in the chat room. If you see Russian bots coming into the chat room, you get rid of them immediately. Yes.
Tell the truth.
If you see any of Joe Rogan's minions, any of his peoples, you got to get rid of them too.
Tell the truth.
I don't want any trolls or any nonsense going on, because this is a serious issue. Now you may say to yourself, why are you talking about Joe Rogan? Okay, he's one white man. He has a podcast. He has a podcast that reaches 90 million people. So it is a big deal, because he's been given a platform for which he can espouse all sorts of ideologies, nonsense. He's also framed himself as a good guy, top podcaster. Many of you have probably watched this podcast, or maybe you've ran by it, just listened to it for a little while, and you say, okay, it's Joe Rogan. He brings celebrities and various people onto his platform. We know that recently, ladies and gentlemen, just recently, he got caught saying a few words, and I'm going to play the recent situation. We're going to bring it right on up, step by step by step. So what I want to do is just give you a little sample of what was the beginning of the controversy around this man. Now, I did a podcast on my second channel. This one, I'm going deeper into the analysis, more seriously into the analysis of what you have here. Now, I have to agree with Brother Max Worrell on his show today. He said that Joe Rogan has to answer to a higher powers above him. Joe Rogan is a pawn on the chessboard. Yeah, he is a pawn, but this is the difference. He still has the complexion for the protection. You see, it wasn't too long that we just heard about one Whoopi Goldberg, right? She got on The View and simply said that what happened to Jewish people was man's inhumanity to man. They raped her over the coals as if she had said something anti-Semitic. But the fact of the matter is, if you do some research, and I've listened to Jason Black yesterday, who dropped an article about when Jews became defined, when Jewish people began to define themselves as white. And if you know anything about the religion, it's just what it is. It's not a ethnic group. It is a religious belief and practice amongst people who unify under that religion of like-mindedness. You can have Jewish people of all different ethnic groups all around the world. You have Jewish people who practice the Jewish faith that are Italian. But the difference between her and Joe Rogan is that Joe Rogan did not get suspended. He did not apologize to saying that you only can find black people in the darkest parts of Africa, in the deepest, darkest part of Africa, where they don't wear clothes. That was some bull crap. bullshit. If you want to keep it real. He gets suspended. He does not get suspended, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he apologized to Spotify, but he did not apologize for those first words that he said leading up to all the other shit that's come out in the wash that I'm going to play for you today. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg has been asked to show nutrition, be apologetic. And she's got problems because she was cooning back in the day with her lover, Ted Danson. Remember this situation with her and Ted Danson? They had a love affair. And then she sat up here and allowed him to go into blackface while she smiles in the background. Look at the smile on her face in that corner side. Drop that off there. Drop that off of there. See, she's smiling at him doing this. So she has lost a lot of credibility with the black community. But the difference is that still Whoopi Goldberg does not get a pass, even though she's Jewish herself. She practices the faith. She changed her name. No. They define what you are, Whoopi. They define what you are, what you can say and what you can't say. Whereas Joe Rogan can say what he wants to say, just apologize internally to Spotify, but he still keeps his podcast. There's no suspension. So I really have to ask the question is, how much of a pun, because my brother Max was talking about this, how much of a pun is Joe Rogan when he has not been asked to be on suspension? Let's hear the first segment leading to everything I'm going to play for you today, where all this kind of opened the door on this. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this.
Yeah, and a mean, angry white man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You're not mean at all.
Yeah.
That's what's dumb about that statement. It's you're not mean at all.
I am white. Actually, that's a lie too. I'm kind of tan. And he was an angry white man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Let me bring this back. Basically, they're talking about Dr. Eric Dyson, who had to call Jordan Peterson out for his racism when they start getting into what is black, what is blackness. And it always is funny to me when I hear white men trying to define what is black. That's problematic. But let's hear this. Let's hear this again.
Eric Dyson call you a mean, angry white man?
And a mean, angry white man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You're not mean at all.
Yeah.
That's what's dumb about that statement. It's you're not mean at all.
I am white. Actually, that's a lie too. I'm kind of tan, and he was actually not black.
If you're tan,
he was
what
sort
the
of
fuck
brown.
am I? Because I'm darker than you.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But neither of us are white.
Well, I'm Italian.
And he was
mostly.
brown, not black.
Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
The black and white thing is so strange because
like
the shades are so
tan and brown.
There's such a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to someone who is like 100% African from the darkest place where they're not wearing any clothes all day and they've developed all that melanin to protect themselves from the sun. It's even the term.
You hear that bullshit? So when that came out, ladies and gentlemen, all of Joe Rogan's minions said he ain't racist. You got to look at it in context. I heard that whole situation in context, and it's bullshit what he just said, because he's basically trying to define black as someone in the continent of Africa that's wearing no clothes, that's in the deepest, darkest place of Africa. And like I said on my podcast not too long ago, that comes out of World War I, when they defined the continent of Africa as being this dark place, being this evil place where you have savage black people, that live there are savage. And oftentimes black people are depicted as animals, as apes. We're going to get to that because Joe Rogan has said a lot more, ladies and gentlemen. He has said things by calling black people apes. Oh yeah. His rhetoric goes further than just what you heard on that video clip of him talking about Africa being this deepest place. You only can find black people where it's deep in the darkness of Africa who are there naked. He said that, And then there is more shit that he has said that you need to recognize. So for those of you out there who say, well, what are you doing? He's not a racist. Oh, yes, he is. This is how white supremacy works, baby. It works on both sides of the argument. It works on the left side of the argument. It works on the right side of the damn argument. And I'm here to tell you, he is exposed. He has been exposed. Now, like Max was saying today, maybe he didn't play ball with the powers that be. And so now they're exposing him with all of these videos from the past. I play the heart for you. I play the stars for you. Maybe he didn't play ball and they said, you know what, Joe Rogan, we're going to have to. Joe Rogan's not playing ball with us. You know, he's on there talking about this virus and he's making all kind of, saying all kind of things. So let's pull out some of his old videos and expose him and make him look bad and humble him. I don't know if that's what's going on, but I do know that companies like Spotify and any companies that hire someone like Joe Rogan to be a podcaster on their platform, believe me, they've done their homework. Believe me. They know that these videotapes exist because they do background on people. They know it exists. They just didn't think it was going to come out like this. Or maybe they said, you know what, we'll drop the videos when we need to put him in check. Maybe that's how the game is working. Maybe it's just circumstances because he's been running off at the mouth. He's got a big time podcast and he thinks that he's bigger than life. Sometimes our minds can take us to places that our brains are not prepared for. So maybe, just maybe, his mind ain't prepared for it. But what it is that the racism was already in Joe Rogan's mind. It's called cultural conditioning. See, in America, we are culturally conditioned, as my man Joe Madison always says, to see white as superior, to see black as inferior. And as a manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we will underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize black people. White society does it to us, and then we internalize that and do it to each other. And that's nothing but telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
And we internalize it by taking the word nigga or nigga, and we say that it's a term of endearment. To take that word and make it a positive. And I'm going to get on to that. But what I want to do right now is tell you that Joe Rogan, this is what he's doing. This is what they're doing in the 21st century. When white people like Joe Rogan get caught in their racism, in their prejudice, it's racism, in their white supremacy, in their buffoonery, they always say, I was just kidding. I didn't mean it. This is the go-to excuses.
Tell the truth.
Now, he has come out and apologized. He did not apologize for the African statement that he made. He came out and apologized to Spotify. Now he comes out and apologizes to black people for what he said about the combination of him spreading the word N-word around. But his apology runs hollow, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
Because he did not apologize for the other shit and muck and mix and goo-goo and Google yaya that he already put out there prior to the stuff that we just found out about. I want to give a shout out to Sister India Irie. She exposed the fuckery.
Tell the truth.
Ain't she super fine? Ain't she super fine on that picture?
Tell the truth.
She can call me anytime.
Tell the truth.
I want to say this Grammy award winning songstress, singer, songwriter, spectacular sister, positive sister. She exposed this compilation video. And others have exposed him, and I'm going to bring up their names. So let's give her a clap. India Irie. And she also asked, just like Neil Young, take my shit off the Spotify. She wanted all of her stuff off of Spotify because of Joe Rogan. But you see, Spotify has yet to suspend Joe Rogan the way Whoopi Goldberg is being suspended right now for 2 weeks. They haven't even suspended Joe Rogan for a damn day, let alone 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They haven't suspended him at all. It's all internal. Then he gives you his apology. And I thought about playing his apology video. Ain't gonna do it. We already seen it. It's bull crap. I wipe his apology with my behind like I use toilet paper. He calls himself the Joe Rogan experience. I call it, ladies and gentlemen, the garbage experience.
Tell the truth.
Because his podcast is garbage. I don't know why he has a #1 podcast other than the fact that he can get all the Hollywood people on his show.
Tell the truth.
Other than that, his podcast ain't better than a regular brother, a regular everyday person doing a podcast out of the back of their damn garage. And I sincerely mean that, everybody. I'm not playing. You don't see me smiling today. No black person with any sense in their mind should support this garbage. See, this is the thing. I like when white people like Joe Rogan, he calls himself Italian. I don't care. They're still Europeans. I like when white people like Joe Rogan expose their racism because we're sleeping today. We're getting too caught up in this. Oh, we have allies. Oh, we're all coming together. Bullshit.
Tell the truth.
No, I like when the racists expose who they are. It's better to know who people are and where they stand with you than to not know what they are when they hide in chameleons' outfits. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
Gloria Murray, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, sister. We got Beverly Palmer's in the house. Brooklyn in the house. Okay, Kiki 05 is in the house. BTK Killer is in the house. Queen I Know I Am is in the house. Thank you for being here. Give you some clap and love. Victory begins in the garden. Thank you for coming over, my sister. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the Information Man channel. Let me see, man. I can't miss my brother here. Keith Winston gave me a $50 super chat as well. Thank you, my good brother.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for the super chat.
Give you a clap too right there. Thank you. This beach is better. That's my sister right there, 0608. Thank you, sister, for coming over. We got my man Black Star TV. Let me say this to you. I'm so glad that you came over. YouTube has booted so many people out of my algorithms. I got to get back over to your channel. I'm glad you came over some kind of way. It happens where your channel gets knocked out of people's algorithms and you never get the notifications when they go live. This is another little game that they play on YouTube. But Black Star, salute to you, brother, and clap to you. Thank you for coming over. Speak with your girl is in the house. Lover gave me a $50 super chat.
Thank you.
Clap to you. Now, I'm going to say it again. You say, well, why are you making a big deal out of, people are going to say, why are you making a big deal over Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan is one white man. You know they're racist and you know they're going to say things. Look. Joe Rogan has a huge platform that reaches out to millions upon millions of people. They got him set as the top podcaster. He's getting all type of clout. He needs to be brought down a peg and when he's pushing out the racism. See, you know, we spend a lot of time on YouTube and social media as a people battling and drilling against each other. This is the time when we're supposed to drill against them when they're coming at us and talking greasy about us, huh? See, we don't have a problem with coming at each other. But when you got one of the mayonnaise men coming at you, this is the time to use your platform to put them on auto and automatic blast. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let me see if I can put some of these super chats on the screen. I think when they go all the way to the top, you can't put them in. Oh, here we go. Let me put these in here. I need to put these in here and read the super chats. Okay, Keith Winston said, $50. Peace, Big Brother Information Man. Hope I'm not too late to the session. Joe Rogan is a buffoon, and I don't understand how people can support that. Well, people support it because he's got the celebrity status. You remember him doing that goofy show on television where they were making people eat buffaloes' balls and spiders crawling on them, you know, scared, whatever it was called, scared, whatever. And then we know he was involved in the whole mixed martial arts fighting, and he's got a lot of those people over there that's bugging for him. And I want y'all to hear what Arian Spears had to say. And I got the audio on that, baby. Yes.
Tell the truth.
And so thank you a lot. Let's see right here. I got my sister. The girl is in the house right here speaking with the girl. Oh, yes. Make sure y'all check out her channel. Look, everybody. Look. The sister's been giving me nothing but love. I went over to her channel the other day. She gave me love, shouted me out to her audience. Make sure y'all check. You see this on the screen. Make sure y'all go over there, check out her channel. Got a very good channel. Talks about a lot of hot button issues. And I want to thank you for giving me the $50 super chat once more.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I got to do it, even though I want to get into the presentation.
Tell them run it all.
Oh!
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, they call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady.
Super chat, super chat.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get work.
I'm back. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, baby. All right, everybody, let's get back on track to the show. I had to do that because I hadn't done it in a while. When people give me the super chat, I just really want to respect people that are supporting the channel. I thank you for the super chats. We got Peggy Roster in the house now. We got Nate A in the house. Thank you for coming over. We got Identity Withheld in the house. Thank you for coming over. Nate A, good to see you. Good to see everybody over here. Let's get into it right now. So like I said, this whole thing has just kind of it's been a ripple effect throughout social media as Joe Rogan is being put under fire. Now, I'm going to say this again. All of his minions and all these people that'll get into your Twitter, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some haters that are going to write something on the comment section of this video, because he's got a whole bunch of people out there that support him. But the bottom line is, when I play through all the videos that I have here, you're going to see when it all adds up, it adds up to pure racism, hydroponic racism. That's exactly what it is, the truth.
Tell the truth.
So let's get at it right now. Let's go. We got Dapper Blue in the house. Thank you for being here. Everybody, let me give you a clap for being here. Okay, so now we've got somebody saying here, that dog Stray, when used in comedy, N-word is not racist. He wasn't using it in comedy, fool. Now you a fool. Now let me just tell you something. Now you a fool. Everything that I'm going to play for you, it wasn't done in comedy. And white people don't have a license on using the N-word for comedy. No, y'all ain't got a license. Y'all ain't got a license. No, you ain't got a license. It's a cultural thing. You ain't got a license to use the word. We shouldn't even be using the word, first of all, but no, you ain't got a license to use the word, sucker. Now, Joe Rogan came with excuses by saying, well, Richard Pryor, Richard Pryor, and wait a minute, Richard Pryor used the N-word. That's Richard Pryor. He can use it. He's black. He's black. And matter of fact, and guess what? He's black, and he's not in the darkest areas of Africa with no clothes on, which is what Joe Rogan said not too long ago, which is a racist statement in itself, because he didn't even apologize to people on the continent by making such an idiotic statement. And he wasn't saying it in comedy. When he's doing his Joe Rogan Experience show, he ain't doing comedy. So now this is what the mayonnaise man, this is what they do when they get themselves caught up in their racism. Now they want to turn around and say, well, I was just joking. It's a joke. Y'all use it. We can use it. You ain't black. Red Fox use it. Yeah, Red Fox can use it. When black people use that word, it has a whole different meaning when we use that word compared to when y'all use that word. And Richard Pryor and Red Fox have a license to use it any goddamn time they please. Including Dave Chappelle, who, check this out, everybody. You notice when Dave Chappelle uses N-words in his comedy routine, nobody has a problem with it, including white folks. But until he started talking about the LGBTQ community, all of a sudden everybody came for him. Why is it that everybody can talk about us and criticize us, but when we make criticisms of other people, now there's a problem? Joe Rogan didn't have a license to use that because he wasn't using it in comedy, fool. And it was India Irie, as I said before, that exposed the chump in the first place. Thank God to the soul sister. Exposed. You expose the devil so everybody, you expose the devil so that the townspeople in the town, just like Frankenstein, can rise up with pitchforks and fire and take Frankenstein monster down. You expose the Frankenstein, you expose the devil so that the good townspeople can take him down. I'm here to tell you that Joe Rogan he deserves to be on a suspension. In my opinion, after what I'm going to play you tonight, he deserves to no longer. He should be deplatformed because of all the stuff that he's done, not just what he's done recently, but the other stuff I'm going to play you. Now, before I play you that, I'm going to play you the first clip, which is the first clip that's got everybody, that's caused all the controversy. And let me do something. You ain't got to block him because I'm going to roast him. I'm going to fine roast his ass. I'm going to fine roast him. I'm going to fine roast him. I'm going to roast them with season. Nobody should be using racial slurs since it sends out the wrong message. You don't see other groups using these terms within their own community. Why? Right. You don't hear Jewish people taking, I'm not going to say the word, y'all know why. You don't see Jewish people or other groups of people using words that were racial slurs at them and turning it into something positive. Now, I understand why black people, historically, we have engaged in that. I get it. Thank you again. Towards the Richard Pryor stand-up career, Richard Pryor himself denounced using the N-word. Yeah, he did. Now you are right. And thank you for that super chat again. You are right. Eventually, Richard Pryor stopped using the word because when he went to Africa.
Thank you for the super chat.
When Richard Pryor went to Africa, he took a trip to Africa and he noticed that nobody in Africa used that word. They simply identified themselves by their tribal culture. And that had a very strong, profound effect on Richard Pryor. So Glorion Murray, you are right about that. He did eventually stop using it. But the point I'm making is black people, we got a right and a license to use that damn word, because when we use it, we don't mean it in the same fashion that someone that's white that uses, because when white people use it, they use it to turn as a term that we are animals, that we are shackled slavery, that we are property. We are to be thrown over a ship. And I'm going to show you the definition that proves what I'm saying right now. Let's get into that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone bear with me. We got Fashion for Life in the house. We got Macon Report. I love it. Love. We have Love in the live show. Thank you for coming over and supporting. He should be right. And we've got Livingston in the house. Thank you for coming over and supporting the channel. Everybody do me the biggest favor. Let's get more people over here. If you got a cellular phone, you got a tablet, a desktop computer, whatever you got at home that you're watching me on, go ahead, take that and share this YouTube video. For those of you that are listening on YouTube or anywhere, share the video right now to your social platforms. You can take it you can share it to your phone, your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever you want, but share this video. More people need to hear this particular analysis that I'm giving today. Now, let's get back to this now. What I want to show you, because this is very important. Thank you, Jane Smith. Thank you for coming over. Peggy Roster. Thank you. Let me put this sister up here right now. We got Love to Travel with Wave. Thank you for coming over. Love to Travel with Wave. Let me show y'all something real quick. I got to take something off of here. We got Crystal. What's going on, Crystal? There's a difference between free speech and hate speech. Right. You have the right to your freedom of speech, but you don't have the right to go into a crowded theater and yell fire when there's no fire. You have no right to espouse hate towards other people and say things that are hateful that can harm people's reputation, harm a particular group. You don't have a right to do that. And especially if you have a platform like Joe Rogan, where he's galvanizing 90 million listeners. He's getting downloads left and right. Hell, I wish I had downloads like that right on my damn podcast. And then right now we got Brother Keith, who super chatted me again. Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
He says, hopefully his good friend Dave Chappelle will check him. But then again, can we really depend on our black celebrities to have our backs? That's a very good point. I am going to bring up Dave Chappelle in just a moment, because Dave Chappelle has a decision to make, ladies and gentlemen. He has a very important decision to make, and I'm going to tell you what that is. Now, let's go in here and let's get into the lesson plan right now. Here's the lesson plan right here. Boom. Let's break it down. Now, this is the word nigga. In its original English language use, nigga was a word for a dark-skinned individual. The earliest known published use of the term dates back from 1574. So in American society and throughout the globe, they have had an obsession. From the Portuguese to the Europeans to even the Arabs, they've had a session with this word. And we know that the Portuguese negro comes out of Spanish for black. But in this case, It dates back in its first publishing to 1574, the word nigga, in a work alluding to the word niggers. Read what you see on the screen as part of the lesson today. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's get into the next one. Let y'all see that for the moment. Take that in, what you see on the screen, that bottom. Here's the next part of the lesson. According to the Oxford English Dictionary. Now, I say this with a grain of salt. It's an Oxford dictionary. So basically, it's the Eurocentric, the European definition of how they see it, right? But let's just go here with it right now. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the first usage of this term, nigger, was recorded 2 centuries later in 1775. So 2 centuries later, after 1575, it was recorded again. So once again, Europeans and the global world became very obsessed with this word called nigga and negro. The word nigger and nigga derives from various romantic words for black, including the Spanish and the Portuguese word negro, which means black, and the French term goes back to the same thing. Negro, nigga. Suti, negro. Europeans have been obsessed, just like Joe Rogan, with that word. I'm giving you this lesson plan before we go into that video where he's running his mouth. Just a little bit of a lesson plan with it. Now, here's the next one. Very important. It was in the summer of 1619 when a ship arrived in the port in Virginia carrying about 20 Africans who were chained up to be sold as slaves. Okay? We're going into history here. It was the first documented arrival of slaves in the United States, according to what they say. In the United States, Africans were referred to and used. This is what the word means, folks. So when we use that word, we can say that we're using it as a term of endearment with each other. But even if we change the word and say we're going to make the word positive for us as terms of endearment, it still does not change the history of the word, the origins of the word. And like I always say, you could put a tuxedo on a duck, but it still doesn't make it still a duck. It was the first documented arrival of slaves in the United States. Africans were referred to as using the Spanish and Portuguese word for black, which is where the word came from. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
Right here, it's really tied. This is where it's really tied to, which is why we got to rethink and calibrate, folks. It's really tied into the idea that African people aren't really human. So the word nigga or negro or nigga as it was used was really used as a way to say we as a people are not humans.
Tell the truth.
That we're animals. So when they use that word, that's what it really means. And Joe Rogan and all his minions like him, they are culturally conditioned from their parents to their grandparents. They pass this shit right on down the pipeline and they spit it out. And then, like the idiot that was in the chat room said, oh, it's comedy. Yeah. They spouse it out in their podcast and they try to, and then when you catch them in their bull crap, now they want to say, I'm just trying to be comedic like Richard Pryor or somebody. You ain't Richard Pryor. You ain't black. When Richard Pryor says this or Red Fox, we know what he's talking about. We know he don't mean it in this way that I just read, but This is where it originally comes from. So we got to ask ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, I got two questions for y'all. Why do we use the word? And the second one, should we get rid of it out of our language? No other ethnic group turns words that were evil towards them, that were slurs towards them, and turns it into a positive. They just don't do it. They teach their kids never. Jewish people have a word. They say never, never again. They never use these words and they never forget what happened to them in their history. Yet everybody tells black people in America, we should forget about our history. We should forget about reparations. Oh, come on, man. We all brothers. Only want to be a brother to me when you get yourself caught up in your trouble. Outside of that, you with your people. This word, it really has ties into the idea that African people aren't really human beings. They were more like an animal than a human being, a beast, a burden could be brought and sold. That's where the word comes from, out of the language, and what its meaning. We were seen as burden, as animals to be sold and bartered like property.
Tell the truth.
Here is the ringer, ladies and gentlemen, in the lesson plan today. African people could be thrown. This is where the word is connected to this. African people could be thrown overboard ships and literally had no rights. So when the N word is used, that's essentially what it's used for, to discredit us as humans, to devour us, to see us as people of burden, to sell us off and throw us off the damn ship if we were no longer valuable to their bottom line, economic line. That's where this word comes from. I had to give you some of the history, some of the breakdown of where this word comes from that everybody likes to use, whether it be a term of endearment or whether it's goofy white people like Joe Rogan who wants to say he just joking around. Bullshit. Let's hear the audio that I have. Let me, before I begin that audio, let's begin with the mindset of Joe Rogan. This is a video that nobody has touched on where he's talking about IQ and how certain minority groups may not have a good IQ. See, this is where this comes from, culturally conditioning. Here we go. Wait a minute. This is the one I want to play.
And this idea that you cannot look at statistics, you cannot look at facts, and in your conversation with Ezra Klein, that's what I got, is that this is an ideological issue, and that you it's almost like an impossible subject to breach. Yeah. Like you can't even discuss the fact that certain races demonstrate low IQ, and then let's look at what could be the cause of those. Even discussing that somehow or another is so inherently racist that it must be ignored or must be silenced, and that you must first concentrate on all the various injustices that have been done to those people who have this lower IQ.
Yeah. Well, let me just take a couple of minutes to close.
Now, I want to ask you all, why are white men in this society always obsessed with this thing called IQ, like the bell curve? The IQ system is something that's really set up to marginalize other groups of people, such as black people and other groups of people, to put white people as superior. It comes out of white supremacy. So when you look at Freud and all these psychology gurus, these psychology weirdos like Freud and all these kind of people, they push this. When you look at psychology, it comes out of what? It comes out of what's the one I want to say? Eugenics. This is all eugenics is what they're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Eugenics.
Tell the truth.
And this is what white people did for years, where they had to define African people, black people, other groups of people as inferior by saying, well, they have small brains or they don't have a brain. So what Joe Rogan is talking about on his goofy ass, garbage ass podcast is he's talking about eugenics, which is where psychology came out of eugenics. If you didn't know that history, psychology got its origins out of eugenics. Eugenics was about trying to define people as inferior. It was just a form of white supremacy to confirm that white people are on top and all you other people are not on top. And because you're inferior, you should be exterminated. That's why in places like North Carolina, they did things where they did experiments on black people where they sterilized black women. Tuskegee experiment, all these different experiments that they've done because they deemed certain people, black people in particular, as inferior. Why is it that people like Joe Rogan and many other white people like them are so obsessed with trying to get an definitive definition or a definitive study to determine who has a low IQ and who doesn't have a low IQ? It seems to me that if white people feel that they are superior, then they would not need to have studies to reinforce that they are superior. The question is that the reality is that they are not superior, but what they want to do is they want to marginalize you to make you feel that you are inferior in order to rise up, bring themselves up as superior by creating studies and coming up with IQ tests. Bull crap. Learning is on a circular pattern, not a linear pattern. In European culture, they look at learning as this linear. You either here or you're there. Learning and intelligence is on a whole large circular ever-going sphere. You can't say that, you cannot claim that one person is more intelligent than the other. Just because you may know a lot about a particular subject doesn't mean that means that you're intelligent in all things. You might be intelligent in that particular field of application, your job, your profession. You might be dumb as rocks in other things. But that's part of the psychology of Joe Rogan and what he was talking about on there. Now, that kind of stuff, when he's talking like that, that leads into the other fuckery that you're going to hear right here. I don't give a damn if this video doesn't get monetized because I've got to tell it like it is. Here we go.
You've already said nigger. D is just like nigger. Saying nigger. She's calling you a nigger. It's like this boy that he's a nigger, but starts calling them niggers. Word nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially like the word nigger. That's our nigger. About niggers. He says nigger. Guy, a nigger. And there are niggers. Start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Out the word nigger. See nigger. Word nigger. Say nigger, and then you couldn't say nigger. And what's nigger? Nigger. Like, you know, the nigger thing. Yes. Saying the word nigger. You've already said nigger. D is just like nigger. Saying nigger. She's calling you a nigger. It's like...
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
So what you heard right there is Joe Rogan again, that was a compilation of all these different videos that he did over a period of time where he's constantly talking about the word nigga, and he seems to be very excited about saying the word. Anytime you see a white person who gets very comfortable with saying that word, there's a problem. This is why I have a lot of respect for Spike Lee when he jumped all over Tarantino, that idiot that does those movies. You know the movies I'm talking about. Terrence Tarantino, whatever, I can't say his name. Remember, Spike Lee jumped all over him and was saying, hey man, why isn't in your movies every word is an N word? And Spike Lee said, this white boy's got a big obsession with that N word.
Tell the truth.
And that's one of the reasons why him and, if you notice, him and Samuel Jackson hadn't been doing a lot of movies together, because I think him and Samuel Jackson had a fallout over that, because Samuel Jackson was in a lot of these Quentin Tarantino movies where he was using that N word and peppering it. And Spike Lee said, man, what is the problem with this dude? And there are people out there who have a obsession with the word. That's why I'm saying when black people say it, it has different meanings for us. It doesn't always have the same meaning that it may mean for white people. I think they get off on it because of the history behind it. And then you have people like Joe Rogan with his little cauliflower-eared fellas, just like my man Arian Spirit said, who they keep saying the word and then you can hear in one of those videos of his show, he says, we should have a word like nigga. You hear that? He did say
Tell
that.
the truth.
We should have a word like nigga. We should have a word like that. That's what he said. Let's play that again.
This boy that he's a nigger, but starts calling them niggers. Or nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially
Right there.
the word nigger. That's our nigger. About niggers. He says nigger. Guy, a nigger. And then our niggers start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Out the word nigger. See nigger. Word nigger. Say nigger, and he couldn't say nigger. And most nigger.
Okay, so now what Joe Rogan's cronies are going to say is that you're taking it out of context. He's saying the word because he's talking different stories. The reason why I'm jumping all over Joe Rogan, because it's not just, even if you can say that we're putting it out of context, when I show you the other videos, now you will understand that the dude does have an issue. He does. When I show you these other videos that I have for you, it will put it all together and you will realize he's got a problem. Therefore, any of you who supported Joe Rogan's podcast, if you got any goddamn sense, you should stop listening to his podcast. If Spotify had any sense, they should drop him. But they're not going to drop him because Spotify's making way too much money. Even if they're putting him in check in the way that my man Max was saying, they still making money off of him. He's still a cash cow, and money, last time I checked, money talks and bullshit walks.
Tell the truth.
We got my man JT Corn Ring saying hello, information man in chat. $1.99 super chat. I appreciate that, my brother.
Thank you for the super
Make
chat.
sure y'all check out his channel. He has a channel. I met him over in Liberto Blake's podcast. Liberto Blake is a hell of a YouTuber, gives you a lot of tips on YouTubing, and I'm going to be doing a channel myself called Info Media. Make sure y'all get over there and subscribe to the Info Media, especially if you're a content creator. I'm about to give y'all tips and tricks and everything that I know. And I'm going to tell it to you like it is. So get over there and subscribe to Info Media. I have it posted up and pinned up in the chat room right now. I should have 100 or more subscribers over there when this is over. Especially if you're a content creator, because I'm about to give y'all some gems on that channel. Amongst a bunch of other things I'm going to do on that channel. But check this brother out. I thank you for coming over and joining me. Clap to you. We got Brother Rob, who's an educator in Chicago, Illinois. Love this brother. He says, why is Joe Rogan so comfortable with saying the N-word? Did we create the atmosphere with our own apathy? Right. I think you make a very good point, Brother Rob. I think that people hear black people use the word in the way that we use it. And I think I even hear people that are Chinese use the word, right? I think people have gotten comfortable with the word to the point that they feel comfortable calling us an N-word because they hear us say it to each other. They see other ethnic groups say it to each other. I live in California. You hear all different ethnic groups use that word towards each other. And I think it's become, people have become so comfortable with the word to the point that everybody is saying it. But I personally, as a 52-year-old man, I have a problem with it because, yes, I have used the word many times. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, but I still do have issues with it when you look at the origins of where it comes from, which I just explained not too long ago. So good brother Rob, you're on the money with that. You are 100% right about that, brother. We got Be the Difference Clothing in the house. Thank you for coming over. Thank you, all of you that are in the chat listening. Let's get back at it again. Now, right there you have Joe Rogan. I played that 2 times where he's using the N-word repeatedly. And there are people out there that are saying, well, you can't say he's racist because you got to get the context of it. You got to understand why he was saying this, so on and so forth. I want y'all to hear an audio from my man. Let me let y'all know something. DL Hughley is the one who actually did some more exposing on Joe Rogan when he found other videos of Joe Rogan's running his mouth in a very racist way that I'm about to show you. So remember again, it was India Irie who exposed him with that compilation on her channel. She has a YouTube channel. I didn't even know she has a YouTube channel. Matter of fact, I'm subscribed to it. I didn't even realize I'm subscribed to it. And that's crazy. She came out and exposed this buffoon with the video. Ain't she fine? And then it was DL Hughley who jumped into the act and said, you know what? I got these videos that I want y'all to see to expose him, right? And then my man, Aries Spears, if I'm saying his name correct, the comedian, all right. You say tomato and I say tomato and ato and nato. He does that routine. He said when his family, he could always tell when his mother and father were making love and having sex in the bedroom because they would play that Louis Armstrong music. You say tomato and I say tomato. But I want y'all to hear what Aries Spears said, because he talked about brother DL Hughley, who called out Joe Rogan. And one of the questions that Aries had to say about this is that, what about our brother himself, our main man? What about the one and only Dave Chappelle?
Tell the truth.
Dave Chappelle has had Joe Rogan on his tour for a number of years now. And so Brother Spears is saying that, you know, Dave Chappelle probably needs to rethink whether he wants to keep Joe Rogan on his tour. I'm curious to see what Dave Chappelle's statements are around Joe Rogan. Now, Dave Chappelle has been no stranger to controversy. He's got the LGBTQ community all over him. They want him off the face of comedy. They want him gotten rid of. But the question is, and thank you again, Brother Keith, for the super chat again. He says, like the legendary Uncle Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be black and be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. He definitely was missed about it. Everybody want to be black, but nobody want to be a black and be a nigga when it's time to be, when you got to deal with all the problems that we have to deal with. That's correcto, Mendo.
Tell the truth.
But I'm really curious to know, ladies and gentlemen, in there, I see Gloria Murray, Big Dog Philly is in the house. I see a lot of great folks in the house. Thank you for all the super chats, what have you. All the love that everybody's giving the platform. The platform has grown, and y'all giving me a lot of love, and I appreciate that. Now, let's just keep it 100% real here. I want to know what Dave Chappelle's position is on this. Will he keep Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan garbage experience, on his tour with him? Or will he get rid of him and recognize that what Joe Rogan is just what he is? Racism. So what is my man Dave Chappelle going to do? Because I like Dave Chappelle. Is Dave Chappelle going to take a position on this? So we got to keep an eye. What's going on, Coco T TV? Thank you for coming over. So she says, I'm all tuned in. Nice to hear this commentary this evening, cooking and tuning in. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Clap to you. I'm giving you the definitive analysis. And the question is, what is Dave Chappelle going to do? Is he going to man up and say, you know what? I've got to get rid of him off the tour? And this is the question too. Why does Joe Rogan need to be on Dave Chappelle's tour anyway? The man sleeps on money. The man's making millions of dollars with his damn platform. Why don't he give another young brother an opportunity to be on that tour. Who needs the goddamn money? Who needs to pay the goddamn rent? And I'm not saying that Dave Chappelle don't help black folks, because Dave Chappelle has done a lot of stuff, folks. He does a lot. But I just wonder, why don't he just replace Joe Rogan's cauliflower-eared ass? Why don't he just replace him and bring a young, up-and-coming black comic on who needs the money, who needs to pay the rent, who needs to put food in tables and spaghetti, who needs to put the collard greens, the black eyed peas on the table? I mean, that's what D.L. Hughley and my man Arian Spears is talking about. Let's hear it for yourself. Let me let you hear what Arian Spears said about Joe Rogan's behind right now. Here we go. And before I do that, let's present it this way. Here's the breaking news.
Information is power.
But then this morning, DL sends out some actual footage this time of Joe talking about being in Africa and being amongst Planet of the Apes. And then talking to a black dude who's half black, half white, talking about, well, you got the black body, but yet you got the white brain. The black brain is a different kind of brain. So now, to give you all the actual footage, when you swipe left, you will see the clip that I'm talking about, and you can judge for yourselves. This to me felt different. And to all of Joe's legions of fans who are gonna flood up my timeline, hey man, suck an eggplant. Really, really. I know y'all all bond together because of your cauliflower ears, and you get off on that with your short shorts and your cauliflower ears. But miss me, nigga. Miss me. I understand comedy. I understand context. You know, DL is my man. Love and support. Fitty fitty. Official tissue. And again, I still ask the question. Now with this, does Dave still keep him on the tour? And to all you guys to all you Joe Rogan fans, or you think you woke cats who are gonna go, oh, it's the media because of him with COVID and the horse whatever thing. Oh, they trying to get him. Oh, don't be a sheep. Oh, you're too sensitive now, Aries. No. I understand the difference between comedy, context, and with Joe on some other shit. I know the difference.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Yo, I pitch wisdom for the kidsdom. Solid as a prism, keeps a funky rhythm. If I want it, I go and get it. My blood thicker than water. We up like a sip of my jeans.
Okay, I want everybody to, you heard what Brother Ari Spears said there. He said that, just what I said earlier, Joe Rogan is trying to paint this as some issue around him just cracking jokes and doing comedy. He also said that, okay, you're going to have people out there that's going to talk this conspiracy talk about, well, you know, it's because he talked about the vaccines and all this other kind of stuff. Joe Rogan's been talking about that stuff on his channel for quite some time. And even if the powers that be didn't like what he was doing, the point of the matter is he still has a platform. They have not suspended him. They have not said, Joe, your services are no longer needed here at Spotify, Google, or wherever. Until then, Until you see that, then you see the powers at work. Now they could, I have to agree with Brother Max when I listened to his program today. They could force Joe Rogan to bring people on his show who are for, getting the jab. They could make him bring people of opposite opinions from the people that he had on the show. That could very well happen because money talking bullshit walks. And he may say, you know what, my money, my career is more important than me trying to be Alex Jones right now. But Brother Arian Spears was on point with what he was saying. So I got to give him a clap. We got Dapper Blue saying, who was that spitting? That was Brother Arian Spears, who is a comedian. You see him on the screen right there. He's a comedian. He's been in the business for a long time, and he was telling the truth. Definitely telling the truth. Okay, we got a pro woman saying, never been a Rogan fan, never listened to his podcast, don't understand his appeal. He's a right-wing type who tries to play both sides against each other. He's been an asshole now for years. Remember what Neely Fuller Jr. said, that white supremacists play both sides of the argument. They play both sides of the argument, the left side and the right side. So you can't get fooled by any of it. Queen, I know I am. I really want to post this on my community wall, though. Don't even have that option. Thank you for trying to do that. We got Sister, let me see. We got Sister Love and Live live show. Thank you, Sister, for the claps. I appreciate that. And thank you, Queen, I know I am, for coming through. And you know what? I got to get Queen, I know you am. I got to get the elder on the channel. He's been asking to come back over here. So I probably should send him a link and let him come up here and talk to me today. I might just do it. And we got Jackie in the house. Jackie, he was on code too, Information Man. Right, Jackie. On code. Now we got my main man, Yaupo. Yaupo says, so they use the N-word and say it as comedians. I dare any of their asses to say something about the Holocaust and say, oh, I'm just making a joke. It's just right. This is the deal. You can't talk about the Holocaust. Well, you know why? We just found out. We just saw what happened to Whoopi Goldberg, right? We got Alpha Zen in the house. What's going on, Alpha Zen? Look what happened to Whoopi Goldberg. Remember? Let me go back up in here. Remember, Whoopi Goldberg was told she's on a 2-week suspension just for saying that the Holocaust wasn't about race, that it was about man's inhumanity to man. I don't know what was wrong about that. Jewish people didn't define themselves as white at one point in time. I got an article about that. There was a certain time when they defined themselves as white in America. And being Jewish isn't an ethnic group. It's a religious group. People who share a similar religious and philosophy. And you see, she changed her name to Goldberg and she started practicing Judaism. But then you see what happened to her. She spoke out as someone that is Jewish and you saw what happened to her. 2-week suspension, Whoopi. Get out of here. Joe Rogan, you can say whatever you want to say. All you got to do is give us an apology at Spotify and you still back on air. Even though you disrespected black people in America and you disrespected black people in Africa with that other statement about the deepest parts of Africa where they don't wear clothes, that's being black. He got away with that one. And then India Irie again had to expose him with that compilation that I showed you. But now, check this out. Now I'm about to show y'all something else. You remember Brother Arian Spears said something about him saying that he going to Africa and calling everybody Planets of the Apes. Remember he talked about him having a guy on his show that was biracial and saying so your mom is white, your father is black, so that means you got the body of a black man and you got the mind. Why do you have to go there? You have the mind of a white man. It's a very weird combination, he said. It's a very weird combination. I'm not saying that it's not that black people don't have brains, but it's a different brain. That's what he said. It's a different brain. Make sure you subscribe to the program. Let's listen to it right now. Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this one.
Mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me.
Let me stop it right there. A powerful combination, he says. You get the body of a black man. The reason why that's interesting, because white men have always saw our bodies as different, right? Remember Jimmy the Greek? Remember Jimmy the Greek? I'm going to play you a clip from Jimmy. Remember Jimmy the Greek, who was a gambler, who was on CBS when they were doing their football pregame show, and Jimmy the Greek said that black athletes are the best athletes because we were bred. Look at our thighs, look at our calves, look at our body, look at how we run. That's the stereotype. That's where, and Jimmy the Greek was Italian, I believe, just like Joe Rogan. That's where they get that. And by the way, remember, Italians, they pump drugs into the black community. Remember, it was Italians who called black people moolies. It was Italians who told other Italians, don't sell drugs in our neighborhood. Sell it to the moolies. Sell it to the black people.
Tell the truth.
Joe Rogan is pushing the same stereotype. You got the powerful body of the black man, but wait a minute, you got the brain of the white man. So what is he trying to say? That black people don't have brains. He says, I'm not saying that you don't have that black people don't have a brain. I'm simply saying it's a different kind of brain. And y'all telling me this ain't racism. Let's hear this again.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. What are you?
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic.
Let me stop there. My mic was off for a moment. I thought it was on the whole time I was talking. That's why there was a little bit of dead sound for a moment. What I was saying is that Joe Rogan, where is he getting this stuff from? This is the stereotypes. Remember Jimmy the Greek? Jimmy the Greek back in the day was a football gambler on CBS doing the pregame shows. And he said that the reason why the black athlete was so more superior than the white athlete was because we were bred to be. We have thicker thighs. We have thicker calves. We can run faster, move faster, that we're bred to be athletes coming off the slave plantation. That was what Jimmy the Greek said. And Jimmy the Greek, I believe, is Italian. Joe Rogan is Italian. He's using the same stereotype. You got a father that's black, a mother that's white. So that means you got the body of a black man, meaning he's pushing that same stereotype that, black people have that powerful body that's been bred. But he goes as far as to say, but you got the white man's brain. You got the white man's brain and the black man's body. Why did he go to the white man's brain first? Why didn't he say the black man's mind and the white man's body? Why did he go straight to the black man's body? Because of his cultural conditioning, just like Jimmy the Greek. Both of them are Italian, and Jimmy the Greek, just like him, said some derogatory things. What did he say? The Italians put drugs in the black community. They told other Italians, don't sell drugs to the Italians, sell it to black people. They're the moolies. They called us moolies. They had no respect for our community, no respect for us. They gave dope to many of our jazz musicians. This is the cultural conditioning that Joe Rogan has been raised under in American society. That's why he made this statement again. Let's play this again. Here we go.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. What are you?
Dad's.
And you can hear people laughing in the back. Why is it that our brains are different? He says, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that black people don't have a brain. It's a different brain. What the hell is he talking about here? Why is it different, Joe Rogan? See, he doesn't want to tell you the reason why it's different. And then I got to be honest. The guy that's setting up here, who's biracial, black and white, father's black. What kind of man is he to set up there and can clearly hear that Joe Rogan is insulting him, insulting his father in the midst of trying to make his little joking commentary? What's going on, Sister Golden Melanin? What type of man am Mick Guire? What's going on? What kind of man sets up here and you're being insulted? He's insulting your father. Literally. Let's hear this again.
Mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. Of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. What are you?
You hear people laughing in the background.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. What are you?
Dad's.
Once again, you hear it for yourself. Anybody that tells you that Joe Rogan is not a racist, that he's not a buffoon, get them the hell out of your face. I had to play it over and over again for you for the effect of it. Joe Rogan said affirmatively, I'm not saying that black people don't have a brain, but it's a different type of brain. Where did he get that from? Where did he learn that from? He learns that from the cultural conditioning of American society, which sees black people as animals. Going back to what I said about the N-word. When we use the N-word, you're basically calling ourselves animals. Even if you want to say, I'm giving you a term of endearment, brother. Once again, a duck can be put in a tuxedo, but it does not change the fact that that duck is still a damn duck. This is where Joe Rogan is getting this stuff from. At the end of the day, cultural conditioning handed down. This is how many people like Joe Rogan see black people. I don't care how many black people that Joe Rogan has had on his show. I don't care if he gets along with Dave Chappelle and he's on the tour. It doesn't matter. You have plenty of people like Joe Rogan that'll smile on your face, but they still have these stereotypical thoughts about you. So that's the one video that I had to play in which you can see the effery of Joe Rogan. Let's play the other video that Ari Spears was talking about. This is the one about going into a theater and he seemed like Planet of the Apes. He's talking about black people. Let's hear that right now.
See Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people. There was Planet of the Apes. Man, we're going to go see Planet.
Let's play that again.
Planet of the Apes. Man, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're we're giggling. Ooh, we're gonna go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. There was.
You see what I'm talking about? He says that a tour guide took them to see Planet of the Apes. They got excited about seeing Planet of the Apes. They walked into a theater. There were no black people there. And he says, we walked into Planet of the Apes. And you can hear the other guy, the other white supremacist, laughing in the background, laughing, giggling like that. And then Joe Rogan made the mention of Africa. He made the mention of Africa, and he just said this. I got to play this again. He just said this. Could all of you hear the video that I just played? If you could hear the videos, and that video in particular, put a 1 in the chat room. Let me see. I want to make sure you can hear, because I feel like my system is slowing down robotically. I don't know what the hell is going on right now, but I know what's going on. They're messing with the stream because I'm telling too much truth.
Tell the truth.
Put a 1 in the chat room if you can hear. Could you hear the audio that I've been playing, the videos that I've been playing? Could you hear it? And write down what your thoughts are. Once again, he says he was given a tour. They were given a tour, going to a movie theater. They got excited about seeing Planet of the Apes. And when they walked in, there were no black people. And they said, man, we walked into Planet of the Apes. What is Joe Rogan trying to say? He's trying to say that black people are apes because the majority of the people in Africa are black. So his statement was dumb. And this is a guy that's supposed to be the top podcaster in the country. He's stupid. Obviously, if you go to the continent of Africa, you're going to see mostly African people. So therefore, when he made that statement, he's talking about black people in Africa. It's a stereotype. It's marginalizing, underestimating, and undervaluing. It's racism. So for anybody that says that Joe Rogan isn't a racist, for any of his minions, any of these yahoos out here, yes, he is. And and that wasn't taken out of context. What you heard there was him saying about him traveling over there and being taken somewhere. And he said, oh my God, we don't see any white people in here. It's Planet of the Apes. And then he mentioned Africa. Can't nobody deny that.
Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app, and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I go, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Ooh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We
They're laughing. You see that?
Door, and there was no white people. There was.
Right there again, they're laughing, making jokes. And you can tell that Joe Rogan was enjoying telling his story. And he wasn't on stage, and he wasn't saying it was a joke. He was saying it affirmatively as if it was facts. He's talking about black people being apes. You tell me, is that racism? Hell yeah, it is. I told you I was going to bring it hard with this one. Now, where does he learn this stuff from? Let me show you a video of Jimmy the Greek. You see, the apple does not fall far from the tree. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Like Joe Rogan, Jimmy the Greek is Italian. And other groups have had stereotypes, views of black people. He gets this from those that raised him, the environment that he grew up in. This is where he gets this from. He gets it from American society that's okay with this crap. That's why he still has a podcast. He hasn't been suspended. Okay. check this out. When Whoopi Goldberg did this with her boyfriend Ted Danson years ago, which I thought was a disgrace, which is why she has no clout with black people. Nappy Yankee was talking about this last night, and I'm telling you the truth because I know it. I'm old enough to know the history. Whoopi Goldberg lost credibility with black people the minute she got involved with Ted Danson and had him do this right here with blackface. And she's sitting up there smiling with a smile on her face, as you can see right there. See how she's smiling in that corner? This is the reason why Whoopi Goldberg doesn't have a lot of black people caping for her. When Whoopi Goldberg did this, Ted Danson's career didn't get hurt by this. He still was able to recoup and get his career going. Black people said, you know what? We're through with Whoopi Goldberg. Now Whoopi Goldberg, who has capitulated to white men in her life with her relationships. Whoopi Goldberg has never really been a media darling in the black community. You may say, well, maybe it's because of the way she looks. She's dark skinned. Yes, there's colorism going on here. Yes, I would agree with that there's part of it is colorism. She doesn't have the look that some people would covet as beautiful, but everybody is beautiful in their own way. But she has a lot of history of bid winching with a lot of these dudes like Ted Danson. I got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Tell the truth.
And black people were through with her. That's why you don't see a lot of black people caping for her now. You can make the argument that what she said is nowhere in the same ballpark as what Joe Rogan has been saying for a long time. Nowhere in the same ballpark at all. But she's been suspended. She's being held accountable. They're probably going to make her go to the Holocaust Museum and pay her respects. And she's probably going to give a public statement, maybe even have a press conference. Who knows? When black people say something that white folks don't like, they make us pay a heavy price for it. When white people say something that black people don't like, they get criticism. We rake them over the coals, but it ultimately doesn't destroy their career. Look at Janet Jackson. Now Janet Jackson is talking about the past. She's talking about the night in that Super Bowl where Jason Timberlake, or whatever the hell his name is, took the pasty off of her breast, and all of America went crazy over a black woman's breast. It's crazy. As a result, Janet Jackson's career took a hit. But Jesse or whatever the hell his name, Timberlake, he went on to a flourishing career while Janet Jackson's career was hurt. Black people, I blame black people who supported Timberlake, who buy his albums, put him and propped him up. There were black people who wrote his songs, did the choreography for him, produced his videos. All of those black people should have said, you know what? You destroyed an icon in our community. Now we're going to destroy your career by not buying your albums. Well, the same way goes here. If they're going to hurt Whoopi Goldberg, who I am not really I don't really want to cape for her because she's done a lot of things that I thought were coonish back in the day. But the thing is that they're holding her accountable. Joe Rogan is not being held accountable across the board. He's simply being held accountable to those shareholders that own Spotify, meaning he only had to apologize to the folks at Spotify. They haven't said, Joe Rogan, you're on suspension. You can't get on your mic and do any podcasts for about a month or 2 months or 2 or 3 weeks, not even a damn day. None of that has happened to him. Now, where does Joe Rogan learn this stuff from? Let me go back to this brother right here. And I'm learning some things about Brian Flores I'm not happy about. I'm hearing rumors that when brothers were protesting the NFL with the knee down like Colin Kaepernick, that he wasn't in favor of that he wasn't in big support of what Colin Kaepernick was talking about. But yet now that he is feeling the racism of not getting the jobs and the hiring that he wants, which, by the way, he's telling the truth about that. That is right.
Tell the truth.
But he's now, a hit dog will holler once or twice. He's now hollering because now he's the victim of what Colin Kaepernick was talking about as well. And now he's coming out to sue the NFL. And before and after Brian Flores, black coaches have always been marginalized, underestimated, and undervalued. Where am I going here? Because it was an Italian man, just like the Italian man called Joe Rogan, who said the things that he said in all those different videos that I've shown you today. He's mouthed off. As Joe Rogan has continued to run his mouth. Let me play this again, because remember he made those statements about Africa being like the planet of the apes. The people are like apes over there. It's really what he was saying. Let's remember the other statement that he said about Africa just not too long ago. Let's hear it again.
Actually, that's a lie too. I'm kind of tan, and he was actually not black.
If you're tan,
he was
what
sort
the
of
fuck
brown.
am I? Because I'm darker than you.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but neither of us are white.
Well, I'm Italian.
And he was
mostly.
brown, not black.
Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
The black and white thing is so strange
Yeah,
because
like
the shades are so
tan and brown.
There's such a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to some, you're
yeah.
because I'm darker than you.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but neither of us are white.
Well, I'm Italian.
And he was
mostly.
brown, not black.
Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really
the
weird.
Black and white thing is so strange
Yeah,
because
it's
the
like
shades are so
tan and brown.
There's such a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to someone who is like 100% African from the darkest place where they're not wearing any clothes all day and they've developed all that melanin to protect themselves from the sun. You know, even the term black is weird. And when you use it for people that are literally my color, it becomes very strange.
Yeah.
You know,
This is true.
So
you were asking me.
Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app, and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. There was.
Once again, like I said, he says that we walked into Africa. There were no white people. It was the Planet of the Apes. We know what the Planet of the Apes is, meaning apes. We know what that is. We grew up with that movie. We know exactly what Joe Rogan is talking about. Nobody can tell us that he's not talking racial talk. Yes, he is. We know exactly what he's talking about. The Joe Rogan garbage experience. You just heard the other video that I've had to play again, where he's talking about if you got no clothes on in the deepest part. That shows you right there that Joe Rogan has a fundamental problem with the racial issues. He has a fundamental problem as to how he sees black people here in America, as well as abroad in a place like the continent of Africa. You went to Africa and you're shocked that you saw black people. Why? Is it because you, Joe Rogan, with all your arrogance and your privilege, you believe that Africa should be the control of white people? That's what World War I was all about. It was about fighting over control of Africa. I said this on my podcast earlier, and I'm going to say it again. When you look at Tarzan movies, Tarzan was made to be the Lord of the jungle. How could a white man who was dropped there by his parents because they had a ship that crashed, raised by gorillas or monkeys, raised up by animals, be the Lord of the jungle over black people who live in Africa way before he was there? But the white man is the Lord of the jungle. And then that word jungle is derogatory. Do you know that Africa is not made up of that much jungle in compared to South America? There is more jungle in the continent of South America than there is in the continent of Africa. Yet we use cultural conditioning to call Africa a jungle when not all of Africa is a jungle.
Tell the truth.
King Tarzan movies that we grew up over, where we saw a white man, where Africans were portrayed to bow down to a white man. They portrayed Africans as negative, and that's how a lot of us got our stereotypes about how we see the continent of Africa and see Africans from them damn Tarzan movies. Then let's look at Tarzan. No, not Tarzan. I said it already. Let's look at King Kong. King Kong is really a movie about an animal, a gorilla. Metaphorically is the white man's way of saying we got to tame this wild animal called a black man. And just like in the Birth of a Nation movie, where in that movie it depicted, this is a movie that came out in the 1900s. It was a silent film. It was the first film. It's the film that's responsible for giving rise to Hollywood. Birth of the Nation, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, is a movie, silent picture, that gave birth to the motion picture business to this very day. The president at that time in the United States played the picture in the White House and said that the picture struck with a pin of lightning of truth. It depicted, if you free black people, black men in particular were savage after white women and have their way with them sexually. And in that movie, it depicted the Ku Klux Klan saving the day, putting sheets over their head, because their stereotype about black people at that time is that we were scared of ghosts. That's why the Ku Klux Klan would wear sheets over their head, white sheets, because there was a stereotype that black people were spooked out by ghosts. They showed these white men doing after Reconstruction, coming to save the white woman from the savage black man. And then they showed the savage black men, as they portrayed it, as taking over the White House. They depicted black men in the White House with their feet up on table, eating fried chicken, stereotypes.
Tell the truth.
This is what the King Kong movie is about. Why? Because what did King Kong do? King Kong became obsessed with a white woman. He went crazy to get his hands on this white woman. He was this savage animal that the white man had to tame. And in the end, in that movie, the white man had to save the white woman from King Kong. The metaphor to that is that King Kong was a black man. And then you have Joe Rogan saying in his podcast, I went to Africa. I saw all black. It was all black people. There was no white people in the room watching a movie. It was like I walked into Planet of the Apes. Right into Africa. Exactly the stereotype, the ideology that they've been pushing for years. That's why I don't like King Kong movies. That's why I don't like no damn Tarzan movie.
Tell the truth.
And you should stop watching them, because there's a bigger hidden message. Use your critical thinking skills. Let me show you where this crap comes from. Joe Rogan talks about how he's proud to be Italian American, right? We got BX Beefing in the house, Naturals in the house, Michael Ross is in the house. Thank you for being here. We got Erica in the house. We got Mick Gregor is McGregor is in the house. Thank you for being here, McGregor. We got Yalfi's in the house. Yes, I actually watched King Kong last night, and I watched I watched it totally different eyes than when I watched it as a child. Right? When you watched it as a child, you just saw it as fun. Oh, it's a gorilla. But if you really break down the metaphor of what King Kong is supposed to be, a black man. Remember, check this out. Remember a few years back, LeBron James took a photo on the Vogue magazine with a white model. And they had him on the magazine like this, with the basketball in his hand, looking like King Kong. They had him going like this, and they had him with the white woman in his arm aggressively in the picture as he was like this. And then they looked at a 1900s picture of King Kong, and they used the same picture to have LeBron pose like that from King Kong.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling y'all the truth.
Tell the truth.
Subscribe to the channel.
Listening to Information Man, please make sure to subscribe.
Telling y'all the truth. Ain't nobody telling y'all this truth.
Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. much. Do I smile what you say
You are
for the
listening to
crowd?
Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
I told y'all I was going to give y'all the infinitive analysis here. I'm going to go deeper into the surfaces. Thank you for the super chat. I think that's Michael Ross who gave me that super chat. I really appreciate that. Let me put your name on the board here. Thank you very much so. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
This is where this comes from. Let me get back on point here. So before I was talking about Brian Flores, because I know I did a video about Brian Flores, and as I learned more about the brother, there are some things I'm a little concerned about. But we know that Brian Flores is suing the NFL. But check this out. This has been going on for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I remember this video that I'm about to show you from Jimmy the Greek. Because they're concerned about us as black people, and particularly black men, taking over everything. This clip I'm going to show you is from the 1980s. So this ain't nothing new. What's happening to Brian Flores and many black coaches, it ain't nothing new under the sun.
Tell the truth.
Let's go in here and look at this right now. This is Jimmy the Greek. This is the same Italian man who gets his stereotypes. It's older guys like Jimmy the Greek who teach people like Joe Rogan all the stereotypes, all the ideology of marginalization of a people. This is Jimmy the Greek talking about the issue around black coaches. And that we already got what's going to be left for the white man. He was very honest in what he said. But he said this in conjunction with the whole statement about black men were bred to be athletes. Our thighs are bigger, our calves, whatever's bigger, like we're animals, right? He said that, and then he said this next. This is where Joe Rogan gets this lineage from. Here we go.
Coaching jobs.
Let me stop that and bring that back. I don't know why that was where you could not hear it. Sorry about that. Let's play it now.
Well, they've got everything. If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them. So black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. But, you know, the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs. Yeah, maybe we need to get more black coaches. Oh, it's all right with me. Okay, well, I'm sure that they'll take over that pretty soon, too.
Okay. That's Jimmy the Greek. He did lose his job back in the 80s with CBS when he made these statements. It was a horrible thing that he said. And of course, he was trying to clean it up with like, oh, I love black. Oh, black is beautiful. Black is athletes. He tried to clean it up. But the fact of the matter is he got this stuff from his father and his father's father, the same stereotypes that Joe Rogan are speaking on. Now, you heard what he said. What's going to be left for white men? He was very honest there because that's what they're concerned about, that if black men are dominating in sports, in football, and if we get into the coaching ranks, they're concerned that there won't be anything left for white people to control. That's really what Jimmy the Greek was saying back in the day. He says there won't be any coaching jobs for white men. Well, that's not true, Jimmy the Greek, because guess what? There's only one black coach right now in the NFL. They have never allowed black men to dominate the coaching ranks or the ownership ranks. So what he said that never came to bay. But what he says speaks volumes because it speaks to the psychological concerns that white society has about black society. Let's hear it again.
Well, they've got everything. If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them. So black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. But, you know, the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs. Yeah, maybe we need to get more black coaches.
That's BS.
That's all right with me. Okay, well, I'm sure that they'll take over that pretty soon, too.
That's BS what he's saying because white men still dominate coaching in the NFL and white men still dominate the ownership of NFL teams. So what Jimmy the Greek was saying at that time is what he thought was going to happen, but it did not happen. On top of that, and I wish I had the video for that here, but on top of that, prior to him saying that as well, he also talked about the black athlete being bred to be athletes, going all the way back to the slave plantation. When he said these statements, he got raked over the coals for it, and he lost his job with CBS at that time. So I got to be honest. CBS did get rid of him eventually. There was a lot of controversy over it. You had Jesse Jackson come out and speak against him, and many other black leaders in the community spoke out against this man. And eventually the pressure was put on him, and he lost his position at that time because he didn't have a big deal like Joe Rogan or someone. He basically was an odds man. You know, he gives football odds and stuff like that. So he got raked over the coals and he got let go, which he should have been. And so I'm just giving you some future and some past, mixing it together. What's going on? Back to the basics. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
I appreciate that, sister, a lot. Definitely thank you for that super chat support. Let me put you on the board here. And thank you. As I get close to conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have enjoyed this this show. And if you have enjoyed the show, definitely put a 1 in the chat room. Let me know if the information that I've given you has been mind opening. It has caused you to think about things a little bit more critically and how you see the world that we live in. Is Joe Rogan, am I surprised that Joe Rogan said this and this is who he is? No, I'm not surprised. There's many others that are like Joe Rogan. They just haven't come out and put their foot in their mouth yet. But it still does not mean that I should not talk about this and give an analysis as to what's going on, because we spend too much time doxing and fighting each other when we should be doing videos and taking it straight to people like Joe Rogan and letting society know that we don't approve of it, that we don't like it. It ain't going to be something that we're going to take. And that's just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We got Uniquely is in the house. Make sure y'all check out her channel. We got Big Dog Philly OG in the house. We got Miss Bear Awake. Mrs. Be Awake, Waken is in the house. I never get names right, but let me, and we got, what's going on, my brother? Right here, this brother right here with the DJing and all of that. Never.
Information is power.
Want to give him a clap. Never can get the name right, but I appreciate you. Michael Ross, thank you for that super chat. Gloria Murray, thank you for coming over and supporting as always. Sorry, Brooklyn. We got Angel Light over Darkness 33 is in the house. Check out her channel as well. She gives you some very good information. She gives you those angel numbers. And we got Dapper Blue saying fantastic live stream. Hey, Dapper Blue, I appreciate you coming over. I like your avatar. That's a cool little avatar that you got on your thing. I love it. So subscribe to the channel. Hey, this is the thing, everybody. This is how it works. Share the video out, because that's how this information gets to more and more people, because you know what YouTube does. They shadow ban this type of content. They suppress it. They don't want it to get out into the browser of YouTube and they want to suppress it, make the channel look like it's insignificant. Don't let them do that. You can beat that game by sharing it out for more people to listen to this. We got Old Reliable, who's one of my mods, been with me for a long time, saying good live info. Thank you for coming over and joining me today. Thank you, Old Reliable. Got to give you a clap. You've been with me for a long time. Appreciate you. Okay, I hated Neck 87. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Look, sister, I thank you for coming over. She says, Brooklyn, you're not learning, you're not living. Yes, I agree with you, sister. If you're not learning, you cannot live without learning. Every day you're learning. I don't care how old you are. People always say, hey, this person's a master teacher, a master. Nobody's a master of anything. How can you be a master when you're still living and there's still more to learn? You could be an expert in something. You can have skills in something, but you don't master anything because you're always learning. That's what Neely Fuller Jr. used to always say when people would interview him. And that man was very up in age. They would say hi to him. how are you doing? And he would always say, I'm still learning. So if you're still learning, you can't be a master in anything that you're still learning. You can have certain expertise in something, but you never master because you're always learning in a circular formation. Learning continues. It never stops until the day that you're no longer in the third dimension. So I appreciate you all for being here. Yapo, my man, thank you. Thank you for your good, kind words about the live today. I felt that I had to come out strong on this live. I felt some energy today about this. I had to put this one together and give it to you correctly. So I hope you all got something out of the stream today, that you learned something. I'm telling you right now, I don't support Joe Rogan. I would never listen to his podcast. I've heard his podcast before. How can you not help but know about it? Because it's on YouTube. It's everywhere. They heavily market all over podcasting platforms and all over YouTube. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to lose his podcast because he's making Spotify too much money. He makes YouTube too much money. So the money is what talks as bullshit walks. And that's the truth.
Tell the truth.
But that doesn't mean that we have to support what the man is doing. And that doesn't mean that we don't call out the BS when we see it. And that's a fact. So I thank you all for being here. You know what I might do before I leave? I'll just drop a couple of links in the chat room and see if anybody wants to come up and talk for just a little while. I don't have much time. I'm just going to drop a link and see if anybody wants to come up and say a couple of words. And then I'm going to have to end the stream. So I'm going to drop a link if anybody wants to come up and just say a couple of words about this. What's going on, Brian Simpson? Simpson, thank you for coming in to the live stream today. I appreciate that, Simpson. Let me put Simpson on the screen here. I appreciate you coming over. I love the avatar, by the way, as well. Thank you for coming over and supporting the channel today. So look, folks, I don't have a lot of time. So what I want to do is I want to see if anybody wants to come up and make any kind of statements about about the presentation, your opinions about what's going on and what have you. And hey, we have someone right now, and there we are. We have Glorian Murray. How are you doing, my sister?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, brother?
Doing fine. I had to get into this one. I had a lot to put down on this one, and people need to recognize the reality of this. And we got my man DOD in the house. Peace to DOD. We got Big Dog Philly coming in the house as well. I'm doing good. I thank you for coming over, but I had to get my foot into this one. I had to roast this sucker.
Yeah. And see, the thing about it is, like, Hollywood, or the industry in general, is they're strange bedfellows, because look at how many decades that we allowed this type of behavior to go on amongst the celebrities, like with the common folk people like me and you. It was like, okay, I'm hearing things I'm not supposed to be hearing, but they're friends with Whoopi Goldberg. They're friends with Dave Chappelle. They're friends with Richard Pryor. You know, they're friends with these people. And it's like, okay, when are y'all going to stand in favor of us? Because remember, you being celebrities, you're representing us. So when you allow these type of talks and behaviors to happen, and you go along with it, it becomes a clusterfuck later. And now they're doing to Whoopi like they did to Nick Cannon when he made his statement, and it wasn't an anti-Semitic statement. He just spoke an opinion, and they canceled his show. Then Whoopi, she gives her opinion on something. She's suspended for 2 weeks, but you're still supporting people like Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Right.
But the thing is that Joe Rogan was never suspended. He simply did an internal apology to Spotify. So my whole reason in doing this today was just to remind black people of how the game works, and that it ain't that Joe Rogan's the only one that does this. It's not like he's the kingpin of all of this. But the fact of the matter is, I had to talk about this because he has a very powerful platform, more powerful than any of us in terms of the reach that he has to get his message out to a lot of people out there. And so therefore, the way you fight this is that we on social media, we need to counter it with the things that we say and what we do. My thing is this. My thing is this. If we got enough courage on YouTube to dox and fight each other, damn it, you should have courage to do videos talking about stuff like this when you have your enemy trying to trash you in our ancestry in the continent. I don't care. I know there's people that say, hey, black people, Native American. Look, black people are all over the world. This man disrespected not only black Americans with his platform, which is huge, but he also disrespected those in the diaspora. I have a problem with that. Because he not only disrespected both of us on both sides of the damn pond.
Facts.
So, Big Dog, what you got to say? But go ahead, sister.
Now I'm gonna say this one last thing, and then I'm gonna jump off. We have more power as viewers viewing this stuff that we don't want to use. Don't listen. Cut off these shows. Quit listening to the music. We've done this before and we've gotten their attention. I mean, back in real quick, and I'm getting ready to jump off.
We're listening.
Yeah, Melvin Peoples put out a documentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did this in the early 2000s where a lot of the black community was getting upset with Hollywood on how they represented our people in their movies, especially when it came to the mixed race and whatever. Instead of having an actual mixed person up there, they would rather just get a white person and have them fulfill the roles. So back in the 20s, especially after Birth of a Nation, that was the tipper. Our community did a boycott of going to the movie theaters. Did a boycott. So Hollywood had to recognize that, okay, you think we're a piece of shit, but we got money to spend on your movies. So slowly but surely, Hollywood made adjustments or whatever, but it proved the point where we don't have to support you and your nonsense and what you put out against us on these movie screens and in this music and politics. None of that. We don't have to support it. Bottom line. And that's all I got to say. Thank you for letting me talk.
Oh, no, it's no problem at all. We definitely don't have to support that. And I'm in agreement with you 110%. Let's go over to Big Dog Philly OG. Glad to have you up here, and your support is always incredible. How you doing, my brother?
Good. Much love, much respect to everyone. First of all, appreciate your information, man, for what you do in the community, my brother.
Thank you.
I just want to say, this is a system that been pushing this propaganda for the last 100 years. Every one of our presidents thought the same way as this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And until we stand up as a people and stop allowing them to dictate who we are, what we've done, it's going to continue to change until we step up. That's all I wanted to say. I appreciate you, good brother.
I appreciate you too, good brother, as always.
Thank you for allowing me up.
Oh, no, always, brother. You always have a home here. We got Back to the Basics, who's been supporting me very heavy. And she always sends me a message when I end my stream saying that, hey, it's another classic. And that motivates me. So I really appreciate when you do that. And you've been rocking with me for some time now. Everybody has. I'm a very humble brother. And I want to hear what Back to the Basics has to say.
Hello, information man. I did come in really late, so I definitely will catch the replay. But it just shows to me the hypocrisy of this country. You already know what occupation I have, and they say, oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're in a democracy. I mean, I tell you, it's just lies, because it just shows you certain people can say it really does tell a big thing when Whoopi Goldberg, I mean, like her or not, she didn't even use that J word. She was just simply saying, hey, the behavior was pretty much very cruel, and that could have led to that the debate opening up to like human rights violations and different things like that. Instead you had a certain group of people who got offended. She didn't even mention this group's name. And then you got this idiot over here talking about people bathing in the sun without their clothes on. And I'm just like, you really, I mean, how ignorant can you be? I said, I mean, have you not watched any movies that are even coming out of the continent? Like, it's not what you think. I don't know who's over there, who is in a situation like that. I said, so it was very disrespectful. And of course, he's not going to apologize. Mm-hmm. But to me, it just shows who are the protective groups of society and who is not. It really is a shame, because this freedom of speech thing, it's just a lie.
I want to read what. Let me read a few things here. We got sister here. I hate Redneck 87. Okay, that's the proper name that she has on there. She says, I have a lot of friends that have tried to get me to watch Rogan. Glad to stick to my guns and never support him. I knew he was full of it when he had all those Proud Boys and anti-right. Yeah, he had Proud Boys on his show too. And we know what they're all about. Exactly. That's on the money there. There was something else. Macomb had said that she agrees with what was said, that if more black people put more pressure and put our foot down on this kind of stuff, the same way that the Jewish community does, they hold you accountable. You see what happened to Whoopi. She says something that didn't even seem like she was like trying to be hateful, and they shut her down. And that's because they galvanize collectively, plus they have the money, the power, the control to shut people down. If black people would galvanize, people like Joe Rogan and many others would be scared to say the word out their mouth, because they know that there will be a penalty, a price to pay. And see, the reason why other groups do this to us is because they don't fear a price to be paid when they do it. They don't fear a price, because we don't, in my opinion, demand enough of them to be taken down. Everybody on YouTube should be doing, in my opinion, black folks should be doing a call out video like this on Joe Rogan and putting pressure. If you're subscribed to his podcast, you should unsubscribe immediately. Thank you, Triumph. Tiff gave me a $20 super chat. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
She says every dollar spent is a vote towards the world we want to live in. Today, attention is the new currency. We have to be unified economically and spend on things that uplift. I agree with that. Thank you. Powerful. I definitely agree with what she said wholeheartedly. I'm trying to see, and thank you again for the super chat, Brother Sheldon. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, here it is. Macomb said this, and Macomb's been rocking with me for a long time, everybody. Long time. I totally agree. If more black folks were unified against anti-black racism, then people like Joe Rogan would not think about using racial slurs or saying racial things. Facts again. Let me say peace to Don Ross for coming over, for saying smash the likes for this brother. Thank you, Don Ross. And if anybody's new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And if you are a content creator out there and you want tips and tricks and strategies how to build your channel, I've got another channel. I have it pinned up. It's called Info Media. I'll be launching content over there very soon. Go and subscribe. I want more people to subscribe to that channel, especially if you want those that kind of content. And I'll be doing things with the cameras out and about, vlogging, that sort of stuff, as well as a part of that channel as well. So please get over there if you're a content creator, particularly. And if you're not, still subscribe, because I think you might like the aesthetics of what I'll be doing on that channel.
Yeah,
so thank you again.
Information man, real quick, brother. I'm gonna be over there because I recently started a channel that I do it for the people because I'm not a talkative person. So I normally just open up the panels, but I did it because a lot of our channels are being censored and shut down. So it's called Big Dog OG Philly TV, but I call it the People Channel because I just open up the panel and let the people, if you had a good day or not, you can talk about whatever.
Okay.
And
we're going to be,
the real respectful. So I'm going to come over there and get some hints from you, my brother.
Yeah, brother. I think you'll definitely like the hints. I think they'll be helpful. And I thank you for what I thank you for what you're about to embark on your channel. So everybody definitely check out Philly OG, his channel. And when you get it all up and going, brother, I'll have to get you over here, get your interview going so we can talk about your channel and what you have over there so that people can come over and support the channel. Brandy King, thank you. She says Jewish is not a race, it's a religion. Right. So when Whoopi Goldberg, I keep wanting to say Oprah Winfrey for some reason. When Whoopi Goldberg said what she said, I think that's the reason why she said that it wasn't about race, because it's not a race, it's a religious practice. I don't understand why people didn't get that. But as a result, what it shows you is that this shows you the power of their community, that if they don't like anything that you're saying, even if you're black and you say that you're Jewish, they have the power to neutralize you if they choose to. Black people need to exercise the same damn thing. But people seem to be comfortable talking about us, and then they say it's a joke. You never hear anybody talk greasy about the Jewish community, and when the Jewish community calls them on it, you never hear them say, I was just joking. They simply say, I'm sorry. I feel you. Nick Cannon was made to apologize. Let's not forget that. He was made to apologize. This is a young man that making all kind of money in Hollywood, but he was still made to apologize as if he had shackles on his feet.
And not to interrupt you, information man, they held his show captive until he apologized. They pulled Wallet out until he made that statement and whatever, and smoothed things over, and then his show was allowed to come back on. And I'm gonna say this real quick because I really want to emphasize this point, and then I'm gonna drop back down.
Mm-hmm.
We have the numbers to unify together and get the changes that we want. But we have so many of our people that is of our complexion and of our community that likes to keep us in this box of inferiority. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I just gave you one example that Melvin Van Peebles
That's
spoke
a fact,
on.
sister. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know that's a fact.
Yeah.
Much respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He gave us an example during his documentary. He was saying if they did this back in the early 1900s, right? Mm-hmm. Then we can do it now. We could do this. We could do this now. Stop watching these people. Stop going to the movies, supporting them. Stop voting for these politicians because they say, well, when I get in office, I'm going to do this for black folks and do that for black folks. Knowing that they're lying, knowing that when they get in office, they're not going to do shit for us. The power is within us, and quit thinking that we're inferior. We have a lot of power. And that's rarely discussed by our own community. It's frustrating.
But part of the problem is that we don't see, remember, politicians, we don't work for politicians. Politicians are supposed to work for us. We're supposed to make them do what we want them to do. We're supposed to put pressure on them. So if that means saying we're not voting for you, we're not going to help you out, Biden, Kamala, we're not helping you out because you ain't done anything for us.
Facts.
And believe me, the Democrats are in a big trouble with trying to get the House and the Senate, And I guarantee you they're going to be running to the black community talking about help us get over the top. And it's like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
You've been in office. And what have you done for black people so far? Remember, I should have played this today. Remember Biden. I think it's on, I got the video, but I just didn't load it up. Biden gave a press conference and he was asked directly, hey, you have the black community feels like you haven't done anything for them. You're not kind of like you haven't come and talked to them enough. And he tried to use COVID, this monster. He tried to use that as the excuse for why he hasn't been able to get closer to black people to talk to us about the things that we're concerned about right now. It was all excuses. It was all splain. He was just explaining crap. It was cam-splain. It was just nonsense splain. Right? So once again, when it comes to us, we get excuses. Oh, I haven't been able to talk to the black community enough because, we got this virus and I can't travel around. You travel everywhere else you go. You can travel every goddamn where else. So it's all effery. And the Democrats are going to have to hold their own nuts on this one because they're going to lose the House and the Senate.
And do you remember what Biden saying things like, well, if you don't vote for this, then I'm trying to do, then you're not black.
Right. He said all that nonsense because this is the same Biden who cozied up to people like Strom Thurmond and what kind of Dixiecrat he was. And he wrote that crime bill. And I haven't forgotten about that. So it's just who he is. And this is what has happened to black people. But I think this continues to happen to us because we don't really have proper black leadership. I'm sorry, Reverend Al Greasy Hair Sharpton is not getting it. He's not getting it. Al Sharpton.
He was not supposed to get it.
He's not getting it for us. And all of these attorney Crumps of the world and all these kind of folks like this and all these so-called black folks that you see on mass media, they're not our leadership, although they portray themselves to be. And it's just nonsense. So we have to determine who our leaders are. Don't let them be chosen for us. We must choose. And remember, Dick Gregory said that in America, we do not select who our presidents are. They are selected for us. We simply vote. And that's it. I'm going to have to end today with that because go ahead.
I say one more thing, and I promise this is the last thing I'm saying out of my mouth. I promise, because I said that a long time ago. But this is the very last thing. I promise, people. Listen to when you get these Mayo and our fellow own people of our community. When you hear them speaking, look at who they support, because you had Biden, you had Hillary and Bill Clinton, and amongst others, that they still, and I'm not getting into the pro-choice, pro-life issue, but I will say this, they still support Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood. And she said out of her own mouth the reason why she founded it, so they can start killing black babies and Hispanic babies because we're having too many of them. So she came out with Planned Parenthood.
Right. So this is the reason. Let me just say this. This is the reason why black people on YouTube got to stop talking the divestment bull crap. Black women got to stop talking about they going to divest from black men. Black men need to stop talking about divesting from black women. We got to build families. We got to get married. We have to have children. We have to build families. White society know that their birth rates are going down. So they have to do something to impede our birth rates. I'm going to do a video on this. It's already been proven through studies that if you are sick or have a medical condition, you have a higher chance of dying in the care of Caucasian doctors versus in being in the care of black doctors. That is facts. That is truth. That ain't hate speech whatsoever. It's truth. They've done studies about it. DOD, thank you for the statement that you said. Neither political party has done a damn thing for black community. You damn Skippy right on that. Let me say peace if he's a newcomer to the channel. King Third Eye Supreme, thank you for coming over. All right. I appreciate that. With the time that I have some things I have to do. for just a little while here, but I'm going to have to end the stream. I think I've done all I can do, folks. I think I've given you all that I've got to give you in this analysis today. I hope that it improved, it added to what you already know. I hope it added to your mind if you did not know these things that I talked about. And I hope you realize that all these people that we have in Hollywood, you can't trust these people. You don't know what's going on. Look at Kanye West right now. Not to get too far, so look at Kanye West. He's telling Kim Kardashian, stop putting my kids on TikTok. And she won't stop doing it. But guess what, Kanye? You put yourself in that situation by marrying and having kids with that type of woman who, by the way, has been with everybody. Should I say Ray J? Lord. Everybody take care. Take care, everybody. I got to get out of here.
Later.
Thank you. No, I'm just being honest. Now he's going crazy because she's doing things with his kids that he don't like. That's why you got to make sure you got an intelligent woman. Not just because she's got a booty and she look a certain way. He got caught up in his infatuation with this woman. Now he's got kids and now he's going to be dealing with this for a long. This is Kanye West. This is Hollywood. Oh, Big Dog Philly OG, be in contact with me about the channel so that we can promote it over here. Yes, Gloria Murray, thank you for coming up.
Appreciate all of y'all. Much
thank
love,
you.
Much respect to everybody. Everybody have a good evening. Protect your energy.
All right. Protect your energy. Big Dog Philly OG. Back to the basics. Thank you for coming over as well.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm so thankful to be permitted to speak on the platform. So I'll definitely watch the replay and,
Right. And make sure you share the video because I think more people need to watch this video. And I'm just going to keep bringing the fire every week as much as I can, depending on what's going on, folks. So I want to thank everybody that was up here again with a clap. Thank you. Back to the basics. Gloria Murray, Big Dog OG, who's going to be building his channel out. We got, I got to say to Keith, Winston, thank you. Weston, thank you for being here. He said leadership, black people willing to stop falling for symbolism. That's our biggest problem. Yes, our biggest problem is that we often fall for symbolism. We get bamboozled by symbolism and it does not work in our favor very well. So once again, everybody in the chat room, I'm going to shout everybody out that I can. We got Queen, I Know I Am. We got Yalfi in the house. Thank you for coming over. Let me see. Brandy King. Thank you for coming over if I'm saying the name right. Big Dog Philly. I didn't get a chance to shout out Fly C Soldier. Thank you for coming over, Fly C Soldier. DOD always brings the fire in the chat room. Kiki05, thank you for coming over. Sheldon, who gave me the super chat, and welcome to the moderation team on the channel. Many other people. I'm looking for moderation down the line. We got Identity Withheld. I wish I had a chance to join the conversation, catch you. Well, Identity Withheld. Do you want to come up and say something? I'll send a link so you can come up and say something for a moment, sir. I'll put another link in there. I'll give you, this is for Identity Withheld. Come on up. Come on up, brother. Come on up and say a few words before I put a crescendo on this, because I gotta put a crescendo on. I'm up. It's 5:09 right now, my time, so I got a few more minutes. So come on up, Identity Withheld, if you got that. I'm not going to end yet. We got let me see. We got BS3 Network. The motives is to break up black families. You're right on, brother. You're right on. What you see on the screen is BS3 Network. That's the network. Brother Ben, who's been gracious enough to bring me on board with that network. That's on Roku TV. This brother's been podcasting for a long time. He has a platform. He has sports on there, and he brings other people. He brings other opinions and shows in the whole package. If you want to watch this show in particular, or any other shows on the BS3 network, go over to Roku and you can find my channel. Most of my live streams on there will be on Roku TV on Sundays. And of course, he'll be putting the downloadable demand content on there as well. And let me bring my brother up here right now. That's Identity Withheld, ladies and gentlemen. All right, brother.
What's up? I apologize for the delay here.
No problem, man. Then to apologize with. I want to hear what you have to say as we get ready to close this out. But I want to hear your wisdom.
Okay, I appreciate that. Peace to everybody listening. I want to go. I want to level up a little.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I understand the outrage, the outlash, or whatever coming at Rogan. I'm starting to see things a little different. I mean, as I get older, I guess that's what we go through in life. You learn some things, you see some things. Understand that anyone making those type statements, black, white, or indifferent,
Yes.
usually are generated from the same level of oppression or level of putting yourself, not yourself, but putting your people down. There's people learning it from both sides of the fence. So someone who's learning to be inferior, there's always going to be someone who's learning to be superior.
That's true.
So it's almost like we can cut down these these people that pop up with all these different who's better, who's black, this that, and I feel like I'm gravitating more towards the ones that are looking at it more of a global, more of a institutional level of we don't need these type people here, but they're not necessarily the source.
Right.
They're getting fed the same way we get fed. They're just on the other side of the fence. So I'm not saying that's something that we should live with. No. But the idea of cutting it down, you can chop at all the weeds you want, but you got to get to that root. And in the sense of comedy, I feel like Chappelle, even though he is cool with Rogan, I know they have a relationship, but as a comic, I feel like he sees that. And if you ever really, really listen close to how he presents his jokes and the way he comes at it, he gets away with some things, but he also is kind of chopping at this like systematic level type stuff. It's a little different if you kind of listen to it in a different manner. And I know Rogan is I know he said some goofy shit. I don't want to curse on your show, but at the same time, understand. You cut one down, two more pop up. I mean, we can chase that rabbit all day, but is that the source? Is that how we get rid of it? Like, do you keep cutting down the little ones, or do you actually go after the ones that are actually the source, more of the source?
People that's responsible for Joe Rogan would be Spotify, because he has the contract. He's using their platform to spill his rhetoric. So actually it would be Spotify. But as you know, Spotify has made him apologize for some of his antics, but they have not put him on suspension. And I think part of it is because we as a people probably have not made enough noise to make demands of Spotify to do more than just let him apologize to them, and that's it. So you're right. We should be going after the head of the snake instead of just what comes out of the snake. I totally agree with you. Let me just say this real quick, brother. Let me say peace to Black Anonymous. Black Anonymous, I did get your video. You might have come in late because the video that you were talking about, I showed a series of videos today. And I think one of the videos that you actually emailed me, I showed today that video. So I want to appreciate you, Black Anonymous. And I want to appreciate Old Head. Old Head gave me a, not a super chat, but a, what do you call it? A Cash App. So thank you for that Cash App, brother, out there. Old Head, if you're out there listening, Old Head 22, Old Head 22, thank you for the Cash App. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to let you continue what you were saying, brother, as I get ready to end this. I know folks want to go over and check out what brother Leonard Honors is talking about today. Let's go ahead and finish what you were saying. Sorry to cut in. And what's going on, Purple Paisley?
You didn't cut me off. So let me give you your flowers now too, though. You definitely, like, I don't want to lose a voice like yours, right? Like, and I also don't want, I wish there were more of you because we still have to cut down those, the ones that are popping up. But as a global sense, we could be doing that forever.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I mean, we're talking about Don Imus, what he said. I don't know how many years ago, and we're still in the same sort of boat. Like what he said was, he was the fear of I guess people of color taking over. It didn't really happen the way you thought. But
Right.
you know, we're
Just like
kind of
just
still
like
in
Jimmy
the
the
same
Greek.
mode.
Just
And
like
that's
what
what I
Jimmy
meant.
just what Jimmy the Greek was saying that I played today. I look at it like this: identity withheld. Can we can put some pressure on these corporations? Yes, because we spend money, right? We the biggest spending group in this country. What I think is that we need more counter. So when we hear this nonsense come out of the mouth of people like Joe Rogan, we need more people like you and me and many others to counter the narrative with a different narrative. So if they're saying things negative about black men in particular or black women or what have you, we should be countering that narrative with our platforms to say, no, this is not what we are. And the reason why we should do that, and we are effective, believe it or not, identity withheld, because more people are watching YouTube than they watch television. The eyeballs are coming over here. So we actually, believe it or not, have more influence than we really think or know we do have.
Yes, and I wish we knew that as a whole. I wish we knew that. And just to put it in context, because I am such a supporter of context more than anything else. If imagine someone like MLK with social media.
Yes.
Imagine the difference he could have made, even though he made a difference in some of the things he started figuring out towards the end of his life. Imagine the power he would have had with social media. But the problem is with social media, you also have a few generations that are every generation it gets detached and detached more from where things are kind of starting from. The MLK days, a lot of kids in school really don't know that. They may know of the struggle, but they don't know the struggle. And that's more of that transfer of information through us. Like we have to keep feeding that and keep making sure that that's not lost, because once that's lost, the fight is gone. The fight is completely gone. But as far as context goes, there were some things that were said with Joe Rogan and all that stuff that I really felt like, okay, I'm sure I've heard the guy before, and I don't listen to him like that, but I can't say whether or not he is a racist. I don't know personally, but it's almost like
Anytime.
being careful with the information being fed, because and I said this to someone else on another channel, I could probably chop up 10 million times or maybe 100 times that information man may have said, Negro or something, and then tail it all together and change the whole narrative of what you were talking about. Right. I could do that if I was evil. I could do that. But
the only problem with that is that D.L. Hughley, as well as Arian Spears, they talked about this because they've been around this guy. And Brother Spears was saying that, okay, I want to look at things in context. But then he said the African thing that he said about Planet of the Apes, he said that's where it went too far. I played those videos tonight where he talked about the black man's body and the white man's mind. I mean, the black man's body and a white man's mind. And then he says, I'm not saying that black people's minds don't have a mind, but the mind is different. Why would you say something that our mind is different? What do you mean by that, Joe Rogan? Why would you say that you go to Africa, you go to a movie, you're in freaking Africa, so you're going to see black people in Africa. And when you see that you're the only white person in there, you use a term like Planet of the Apes. And we know that that term has been used to define black people as apes. So when I look at all of those things that he's saying and put it all in context, one can make an educated guess or inference that there is something racial going on in his brain. Because every time he talks about Africa, it's always something out of a damn Tarzan movie narrative.
Yes, I 100% agree with everything you just said. But I do go back to the first statement I made. There's two sides of the fence here. There's one that's being taught that they're inferior and the other superior. And depending on the story, like the angle you take, depends on what side of the fence you're on. Either you're getting kicked or you're kicking. You know what I mean? So I'm not denouncing anything that, is said on either side. The point is, it's like I can't really focus all of my attention on those things because sometimes they're speaking from ignorance as well. they're speaking from ignorance as well. And that doesn't denounce it. That doesn't make it smaller. It puts it in its proper context that,
Right.
okay, you're a racist. Okay.
Right. But Joe Rogan, I agree with you, but Joe, it is ignorance, but he has had a number of things that he has said. Now, in the beginning of the show, you may not have been here. I actually showed a video of him on his show talking that eugenics stuff about IQ and talking about, minorities or certain other groups of people. Why don't we not talk about the fact that some of these people have low IQ? And I know where that stuff is coming from. It comes from eugenics, which gave birth to psychology. So when he's talking that, see, this is how he gets away with it. He says it in a tongue-in-cheek fashion. And because it's a podcast and he brings entertainment and humor to it, he's trying to make it seem like, well, it's not because I have issues with certain groups of people. It's just that I'm just trying to figure it all out. So he does that, oh gosh, oh me kind of bull crap. I'm not buying it because I got too many videos that I didn't even load up today. Identity withheld. Other stuff that I've looked at that he has said that, like, oh my God, the dude is on something. Then when you look at the kind of people that he brings on his show and what they're into, it just makes me question the dude. But at the end of the day, I'm not losing any sleep over the dude because I don't normally watch him. I don't watch his content. But I needed to do this today because we need to do a counter. I think we should be countering everything that is said. Everything must be countered, in my opinion. But identity withheld, I've got to end. I'm up against the clock. I've got to end the show.
I appreciate you letting me up, man. Sorry to delay
No problem.
Anything. Everybody have a good night. Please support this man. Subscribe. Do everything you can. Super chat, whatever. This guy's great. Love you, bro. I hope everything stays well with you, man. And I'll talk to you.
All right. When are you going live? I keep missing something. I got to get you back. YouTube plays this game. I got to get you back into my algorithm. When do you normally go live regularly?
I am not doing regular lives right now.
That's why I have not been seeing you. Okay.
Yeah,
then that makes sense now.
I'm popping up like this. This is how I get my YouTube fix in.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do what you got to do, brother.
I'm going to go live soon. It's going to be pretty serious topic. I'm not going to announce it on this platform. But keep a lookout for it. Identity withheld. Look for the WP on the mouthpiece. If you don't like my content of speaking, you might like my content of music. So check it out.
Right. Hey, and, make sure you subscribe to the Info Media channel. I'll be giving tips and tricks and strategies on how to make improvements to YouTube channel, man. Go ahead and do that. I appreciate that too.
Will do.
All right, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Identity withheld in the house, the man himself. And I got to say peace and love to Purple Paisley Planner, who gave me a $10 super chat. Thank you, sister.
Thank you for the super chat.
I got to do it, even though I'm up against the clock. Thank you.
Time to run it up. I wake up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send in, they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming over again. I'm going to have to end the show. Thank you, everybody in the chat room that's been supporting me. Yalpo, Brother Yalpo, I see you. Don Ross, if you're new to the channel, brother, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you coming through. I've got to end it. I'm against the clock, and I've got a few things I need to do. And everybody, I'm out of here. Let's do it like this. Let's put the music on. Let's get it jamming in here. Y'all know how I do it over here on the Information Man program. And so let's get it going right now. Peace again to you.
Stretch.
Let's stop that and go. Hey! All right, everybody. Peace. Peace. Thank you for all your support out there. Everybody is great. Everybody's great.
I don't mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Cause some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call. Realize the movie that I was watching, it's the end of the world. Illuminati is coming. Gather the boys and girls and watches it all unfurls. They clutching at all they pearls and no one asking for guidance. Stimulus check, won't you cash app that? I got niggas and they said that respect they black. Politicians and they said don't know how to act. That's why we sitting on the wrong track. Back to the long track. And it's okay to be rich. My mama always told me I was destined for greatness. But my mama also, she told me take care of the kids and everybody around the world that can't fight for it. So it's a Hakuna Matata, beast on the water. Pray to provider, please don't divide us. Keep that and try to face your intruder to be someone brighter. Yeah, I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Cause some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
The Information Man Show.
Some of y'all don't listen at all. Same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. Some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
Listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for watching the Information Man Show today. Definitely subscribe, hit the bell notification, share the video. I'll be back with more very soon. I actually have to do a bonus show because of the news that just came out about the Black Lives Matter movement and how they are being investigated here in California and other parts of the country for money that they've been misspending and not appropriating properly towards Michael Brown's family and father, as he spoke of earlier, and other Black Lives Matter chapters. Those women who founded this look like they've been grifting. That's what it appears to be, allegedly. And I think I might have to do a show either tomorrow or sometimes during this week as I do some more research about this. So that's coming your way very soon as a bonus show that I'm going to do before Sunday next week. So thank you, everybody. Take care.
Tell the truth.